Everybody is asking the question, what AI tool I should use, right? Because there's a million of them out there, analysis, paralysis, all this other stuff. Well, I think that's the wrong question.
Okay.
The main question that every small business owner should be asking is, how do I use AI without breaking the trust that I've spent years building? And so there's a lot of, especially in the home service business, but really in any business industry, you've built that trust, and the businesses that are quickly adopting it because they want to be ahead, they're quietly torching the trust that they've built so many years. And so we're going to talk about that today.
Yes, we've seen this actually happen to real businesses, case studies as well. And today we're going to talk about the who and the how.
The who and the how.
The who and the how.
Who and how? Yes, sir.
It's a children's novel on AI. Who and how.
The who and the how. There you go.
That should be your next book.
Yeah.
You're listening to the AI Convergence Podcast, where AI, business, and mindset converge.
AI made content free. It made outreach free. It made customer service scalable. It made research infinite. But the one thing that it can't, I don't think ever will, commoditize is trust. And so...
I think the trust industry, if I can call it
Trust
that.
industry.
The trust industry, I think is coming. I think we're now going to see...
Oh, yeah.
Not just the work that I do in identity architecture also relies on reputation management, which means trust. You have to have a sense of trust in who you are as a subject matter expert or whatever the job that you're doing, your products or services. And I think you had touched on this way back in the day, that if businesses had not created that foundational sense of authority in their marketplace, which, by the way, builds trust, it doesn't matter how much AI you use or what tools you throw at it.
Yep.
If you don't have that foundation in place, you won't be able to sustain the trust. You can't scale it.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at a place where the next commodity, beyond convenience, is going to be trust.
Yeah.
How do you keep it? How do you build it? How do you maintain it in a world where the sandbox always feels like it's shifting?
Yeah.
Right?
Trust currency.
Trust currency.
That's the
new
good one. Yeah, trust currency.
100%. So reputation is your moat. Yeah. We're going to talk about expanding that moat. Trust is the only variable, by the way, that hasn't inflated, right? And it's actually appreciating in value now, if you can imagine that, because everywhere you go, everything else is deflated as a result of, or it's exposed, I should say, as a result of the AI movement and things that are happening. So.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It hasn't inflated it, but it's appreciating in value because everything else is deflated. And then the people that have tried to use AI to build their reach, to build their know, like, and trust, now they're getting a term slapped onto them. It's like AI slop, right? And so that's what I want to talk about today, is using AI to expand what you think is your reach and your frequency online, but you're doing it in a way that is quietly degrading your trust.
Yes, I think there are two camps that understand how to use that AI, right? Where everything AI touches, it gets commoditized. It's going to. People are going to take advantage of that, obviously. That's just the way the market works. Trust is the one thing that's left that isn't. And that's your entire competitive position, right? And I think if you can use AI to build and manage your trust factors, your trust, whatever those things are, right? The AEO, the SEO, the reputation management, as opposed to creating slop to build trust, right? Anybody that uses AI that creates content to build trust, I think is going to find that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's going to stop working.
Yeah.
But if they use AI to help manage what is currently real about you, your reputation, your subject matter expertise, all those things, I think it's a very different ballgame.
Well, I think a couple notes. First, why aren't you implementing AI in every other process of your business so that way you can be a real human in front of the camera, right?
Sure.
If you want to build your brand that way.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Of course you can. I've seen some. There's one guy who's pretty big, very big in the digital marketing world, Anik, and he has created his clone, and his clone creates tons of content and whatever on YouTube, etc. And so he's now selling a course about how I created a clone, blah blah blah. And I am not interested, right? I'm just, I'm not interested. Like, why would you want to fake yourself? You should be optimizing everything else so that way you can be more
The real thing
human,
up front.
the real thing. Yeah. And it's going to bite him and everybody else that's doing it in the ass. And so, so that's one thing. And then, so to kind of dovetail off of that, some people might be thinking, well, okay, wait a second. So then how can we build trust with AI? And are there any other ways? Because that's the obvious one, right? Like throwing a fake AI person. Like I see ads all the time where it's an AI generated man or a woman or whatever. Read the comments. People aren't stupid. They're like AI slop, hashtag AI slop. Oh yeah, hearing an AI man talking about hair loss. Because yeah, I get those ads and whatever. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to buy your product. Like people just slam it, right? Why would you do that? So, but those are the obvious things.
Yes.
So then what are the not so obvious things? So some of the not so obvious things are like off-brand AI email. So people who are saying, oh, we get so many emails, and so let's have an agent that just automatically replies to our customer service. So is that a bad thing? No, but not training your AI and scrutinizing it so that way it doesn't look like it's AI. It actually has your brand voice and it speaks in a certain way and a tone. Like if you don't go that extra mile to create that, then you get an email back from customer service and it has these giant M dashes in it everywhere and it looks like ChatGPT. You just quietly or obviously degraded the trust in your business. AI email is one of them. Hallucinating responses to a customer,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That happens a lot. People just trying to plug in AI for customer service. And again, they don't have guardrails and they don't take the extra mile to do the right thing. They're fucking lazy. And so now they're in a chat bot or whatever, and they're getting the company's chat bot to hallucinate, right? Mm-hmm. You just degraded your trust. Mm-hmm. There's that. There's also newsletters, right? So like I get lots of newsletters every week. I can identify the ones that are just spit out by AI. Yeah. I'm like, this person didn't take the time to write his own newsletters. And so it's not about like, oh, well, now Matt, I got to do everything manual again. No, it's like, it's a tool, right? So like some people think that when they have a hammer, everything's a nail. Like expand on your toolkit, refine, get different types of, hammers and screw guns and all this other stuff and refine that tool so that way when you do create a newsletter and it is creating a newsletter, mm-hmm. you can read it or have somebody else read it and be like, wow, that actually, yeah, that's just like you wrote it yourself. Then have AI automate that, right? And so, if people aren't withdrawing now, over time, they're going to subconsciously and unknowingly withdraw because they're not able to connect, right? They're not having that connection with the brand or the company in the way that they used to because of these automated things. And so over a few months, you're going to notice it by people quietly canceling the account or not renewing or not replying to your newsletter or your reach out attempts or all this other stuff. Yeah. And so that's the trust moat that we're talking about.
Well, and I think you pointed out a couple of things. AI as a tool, AI as a service, AI as a, right? I think when you fill in that blank, I think being very clear about which version are you using and then how are you applying it. If you're using AI as a tool and you're trying to use a tool to create trust, name one tool you can use physically that creates trust.
There are none.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the human that has to do it. It's the ongoing relationship and the experience you have with that person over a specific period of time where you get something from them and begin to trust, right? And I think if people are out there, and you had said a minute ago, you were like, why are they even doing this? Why are they choosing to do it? It's convenience.
Yeah.
It's because it is the most convenient path to do the thing that they think they're going to get, which is trust, which is content, which is whatever. Ultimately, they've just wasted all that time building slop that people are going to ultimately distrust or they're going to throw out. And you've built a system, if you will, that isn't going to build trust. And it's not going to hold your moat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to end up degrading over time because you aren't trustworthy. You're not putting in the work and the time. You're not putting in the foundational steps it takes to be a trusted subject matter expert.
Yeah.
That just takes time.
Yeah. And you can't replace that. You can leverage it with
That's
tools.
where AI comes in as a tool to leverage your existing trust and authority in that space, right?
Yep. Yeah, like automating your editing, your post-production, your posting, all of those things, right?
Yep.
So that way you can just be in front of the camera
Yeah.
and do the things that need to be done,
Yeah.
right? And so there's 4 ways that AI breaks trust.
Okay.
So you want to kick us off with the first one?
Sure. You had mentioned off-brand automation, so you're talking about the emails, right? If it's not on branded, it's not on point, it's not in your voice, it can be immediately sensed as being AI.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, people call it out all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
So don't think that you're fooling people.
No, and I think this was a comment I think I made previously or whatever, and it goes back to the thing where we were talking about Jurassic Park. The original Jurassic Park, when we saw it for the first time, we were shocked and amazed at how the dinosaurs are real. Yeah. Well, we got good at spotting it. So now when you're in a show or whatever, you're in something, you can spot the green screen. You can spot some of the blue screen stuff, right?
Yeah.
You get really good at spotting it. Humans get really good at spotting these things, and I think we've gotten really good at spotting bad AI.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And that's one skill that humans inherently have. The other one is hallucinated authority.
Okay.
So AI confidently answering customer questions with wrong info, right? Customers trust you, AI lies. Through you, customers feel burned. And it happens, right? And again, that is convenience. Also laziness. It's like the business owners who are trying to, like, oh my God, I can do all these things now. And they're not really thinking about the end process. They just want to, sell something and deliver and make the money and whatever.
Make a quick buck.
Yeah, make a quick buck. Thank you. Yeah. And they're not thinking about those things. And, so that's one. The other one is, you love this word.
Sycophantic customer support. I just love the word sycophant.
Yeah.
It's such a strange, odd word to me because I expect it to be something else that it isn't.
We did a whole podcast on that.
We did. Yeah. We did. AI that agrees with anything the customer says to avoid friction. We know that person, that people pleaser. That's what AI is. It's a people pleaser. And you always need one on the team. You need to balance things out if you're ever going to. If you look at teams and the way that they function, people pleaser is always going to be somebody you're going to end up with on your team. How to put them in a great place where they do exactly what they do well is the art of the manager. If AI is running around people pleasing all the time, then it's not doing you any service.
No.
I think it's doing you harm.
Yeah, and that's just an irresponsible application of the business owner, period.
Lazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
The fourth one is silent decision making. So AI making customer-facing decisions as far as like pricing, scheduling, refunds, recommendations with no human oversight. Yep. Customers can't tell it's AI, then they find out, then the trust vaporizes. And so this is something that we've been doing at Vox from the beginning. All of our AIs state, I'm an AI assistant here with blah, 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 X company. How can I help you today?
We've walked through that with clients who don't want to say it up front.
Yeah.
And then change their mind and have their agents go, we need to start telling people this is not a real thing.
Yeah.
Because it came back to bite them by not being transparent about their use of AI. And I think that's a key business model that today is necessary, being transparent about how you're using AI.
Yep.
I think eventually that's going to fade away as people get used to AI being in business and in our lives. And eventually they won't need you to be transparent. But right now, during this very hyper real and an ever-changing landscape, be upfront about it.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
You want to build trust.
Yeah.
That's a great place to start.
Absolutely. So every off-brand AI email you send is a small withdrawal from an account that took years to build. So this just comes back to being responsible, thinking about it, making good plans. It's a tool. Think about how it's going to affect. Think about the long-term, repercussions or benefits. But so we talked about the one end of the stick,
Yes.
how it can ruin. But how can you use it to actually improve your trust?
Okay.
So let's dive into those.
Let's do it.
Number one is consistency at scale. This is how we've been able to do this at Vox, right? With just a small team of a few of us, we've been able to use AI to build things at a speed that no other agency, doesn't matter how fucking big that agency is, cannot match us.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm very proud of that. But that builds the trust, like proof positive. The CEO of the local small business SBDC was telling me the other day, he was like, he was talking with the CEO of the local chamber, the EDC, and they were sharing issues that they were having. Like, I've been tasked to solve this issue, and the board gave me like 2 weeks to do it, and blah, 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 blah. And so the person at the SBDC, because we've already built that trust, and we have a relationship, and we know that we deliver things high quality, fast. You know what he said to them? He told me, he's like, you know what I told them, Matt? He's like, you need to call Matt and his team. He's like, if you have a budget, they'll do it for you, and they'll build it in a couple days, and it won't be shit.
Well, it occurs to me that people in those roles are already busy with all the things they normally do in those roles.
Yeah.
When are they going to have the time to explore AI, which is the first step, explore, then become an enthusiast and start using it, then learn it enough to implement it in ways that are meaningful for your company?
Yep.
They'd have to hire an outside advisor or consulting agency of some kind, because they are the ones who've taken the time, to actually use it in meaningful ways, to produce content, to produce products, to produce artifacts that you can now use and install in your business that is useful from day one, as opposed to, well, you're going to have to figure this out and take weeks to get us a report back to the committee that's going to make a decision about whether or not we're going to use. I can imagine what that must feel like for somebody who has not that they don't have the time, let alone the inclination to figure it all out.
Yep.
Right. And having a resource, the trusted, reliable resource, is important.
Exactly. And so it's very well known across the community and our clients that we use AI for everything. But it doesn't diminish our trust, because we're still the humans at the tip of the spear, right? We're using it to leverage, to provide these things faster. And that's how we use it to deepen our trust, because they're like, wow, we get an email response the same day from a human. If we call, they pick up and they answer, and then they get the solution super quick. And so that's how you can use AI to deepen your trust at scale. So the next one?
Yes. Memory. And this is I'm going to need the help with this. The things that customers actually want isn't fancy tech. It's being remembered. Like, how's your daughter? Is she still playing soccer? Those things that, by the way, excellent salesmen and saleswomen of the world know. That's how you developed relationships. You got to know your clients. You spent the time and the energy doing so. This, I feel like, is one of those places where AI that remembers the customer's detail across every interaction can help you have a more meaningful connection to that client as you move forward. But if it affords you the time to do so, please take the time. Please take the time to learn it. And then if you don't offer up information about somebody that you're not sure is factual. They will call you out. It will be an awkward moment. So
So an example like that would, or maybe some listeners didn't know that you could do it. You can build a customer service agent that has long-term permanent memory of every interaction that it has. And it knows, because it knows who the customer is, their first name, last name, email, phone number, and it catalogs that. So then the next time they come and communicate, and they're like, let me get your information. Oh, Mr. Smith, we talked a month ago about this, that, and the other. That, again, proper infrastructure, building, implementation of AI for that permanent memory can help deepen trust.
100%.
So values-aligned behavior, the last one, number 3. Call back. This is to remind, early on in another podcast, I forget which one it was, we talked about building AI with soul. And what that meant, what that looked like, etc. And so when you train your agent, you should install the aligned values of your company.
Yes.
If you have values of your company, you have these pillars that you operate on, those need to be installed into the any agent that you build and deploy in your business.
Top level.
Yeah, at the top level.
Yeah.
Because they will follow that.
Yeah.
And so that's the third way. So
yes, a practical example, walk through a small business using AI right now, right? A composite if needed. Then we're talking about how that AI helps remember customers, sounds like the owner, right? We've done a lot of tweaking with AI agents to help it sound more like the owners, and it's fascinating what they ask for.
Yeah.
Refuses to overpromise and then escalates appropriately, right?
yeah,
There are some frameworks that you can put into place to ensure that it takes these steps.
Yeah.
It also means you have to think about how you would want them to react and think, this is not AI as a tool. That's AI as an employee.
Yeah.
It has to function in a way that is meaningful in human ways in this way. If it's interacting with a person, that's not a tool anymore. That's an AI employee.
Yeah.
If it's doing internal operations and efficiency standards and things like that, that's AI as a tool.
Yeah.
So I think that's important.
And a good example would be the client that we all know and love. They're a painting company in Illinois, and they've used AI as that first person interaction.
Yes.
They were skeptical at first.
Yep.
We've refined it over the years, and now their customers expect it. Right? They know that it's Jennifer is the AI.
Yeah.
Right? But Jennifer gets the job done. Yeah. Jennifer escalates or forwards as needed and properly. Also filters things out and helps customers immediately. Like if they just need to schedule an appointment, well, Jennifer has access to the sales team's calendar, and she can pick and choose when to book those things or when to forward it on.
Yeah.
So, and we have many real case studies, just like the multiple Better Business Bureaus that our agents work in across the nation, of how it's helping them to be able to do more for the people, but they're using AI to do it in the right ways.
Yeah. And you're not stuck in your truck making phone calls. You're out in the field meeting clients and actually getting estimates and things like that. That's great for those type of services.
Yeah, absolutely.
Business services, 100%.
Yeah. So, most owners, business owners, around 100 customers is where they start losing consistency. But AI restores that with the personal. You can duplicate and scale that personal touch and feel using AI, and then just making sure that the humans are still in the right spots. So basically, here's a framework. We always try and leave people with a framework.
I love frameworks.
Of things that they should do. So let's dive through this one really quick.
Cool.
So the practical framework, number one.
AI should sound like you, not like AI. Train it on your voice, your tone. It's not a thing you can pull off the shelf and do immediately. By the way, it will require iteration. It will require tweaking to get it right. It's fascinating when we talk to the Better Business Bureaus because their AI doesn't sound like one individual, like the owner of the company or the CEO. They all work together collectively to train it to be this really unique individual within the company.
Yeah, absolutely. And then never let AI customer-facing decisions happen without human oversight.
That is the human in the loop moment.
Yeah, always human in the loop.
Yeah.
So, until you've stress tested it exhaustively and it's getting the result that you're like, wow, I can't really tell. Of course, I know it's an AI because she says that she's an AI or he, but I can't really tell. That's the same interaction that I would have with Jenny, who is now no longer having to do that because she's doing the human, right?
Right.
Right. So, yeah.
Deploy AI first to internal ops, then to customer touch points. I think this is crucial because once you begin to apply it internally, you begin to find those weak points, those places where you can make improvements on, those places where you might not have a really solid SOP, and you can ensure that gets done first before it going out into the world.
Yeah, AI should work for the trust to have that customer-facing touch.
Yes.
Right? And so the best way to do that is having it internal.
Yeah.
Ask every AI tool one question. Does this deepen trust or trade trust for speed?
Oh, I like that. Trade trust. Are you trading trust for speed?
Yeah.
If you can stop and ask yourself that question as a business owner and you know instantly I'm doing this for speed, you might want to back up a minute.
Yeah, walk away.
Yeah.
So the bigger thing here is that the owners that figure out the AI is the biggest opportunity. It's not efficiency, but it's trust. And those owners that jump on that quote unquote bandwagon are the ones that are going to win, right? Because everybody can think of just this morning or now, as you're listening to us, the last time you saw content from a brand and you're like, that's AI. I know that that's AI. But there are people out there that are doing it right. And you think you're still engaging with that person or that, brand that you've loved their messaging for so long, but they took the time to have their AI create and do the content, and they did it so well that you still feel like it's a personal, a personal touch.
Yep.
So you can always tell.
I think right now, while we're in this space of building trust while using AI, if you think of it as two things. One, always be transparent that you're using the AI in some meaningful form. So even if it's an AI agent, you're like, look at our new agent. Celebrate the agent. Be very upfront about the agent. And the other one is humor. If you can always instill a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, a little bit of whoopsie, you know, we're still getting our wheels underneath us and we're still learning our way with our AI. So, it's like this sign on the wall, apologies for the mess while we do reconstruction.
Yeah.
If you can live in that mode temporarily right now while the whole space gets its shit together, as they say, I think you'll find that people will receive it better from you. Yeah. They'll trust you more because you're being upfront and honest about it. And they'll allow for those mistakes. They'll give you some grace.
Yeah. I wanted to make that comment earlier. Humans are surprisingly forgiving when you're just upfront. And
the internet isn't.
And they know.
But humans are.
I think humans are. Like when you're just upfront, honest, transparent about what's going on, humans are surprisingly patient and surprisingly forgiving. Yes. And so I think that's a good key point to take away. So,
never use AI in a way that would embarrass you if the customer knew. Can you dance like nobody's watching? You know what I mean? Right. If you can and you're good about it, then okay. But if it's something that you'd be like, ooh, even if there's a small doubt, do without.
I shouldn't be dancing. Like even when nobody's watching.
We've talked about this. It's terrifying. At least he can DJ.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I'm learning. All right. So next time we're going to talk about something with AI and the nervous system. You might want to tune in. We've talked about it before, but we're going to go a little bit deeper. So we'll see you next week in episode 26.
Thanks, guys. Subscribe.
You can subscribe.
You subscribe.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe on them buttons.
And remember, always share it with the people you hate the most because we love them. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the AI Convergence Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in every Tuesday for conversations about AI, business, and mindset. Stay converging.